welcome back to another video on NIO Stock, and tonight we're looking at some forecasts for the stock into the future. So why are we covering NIO Stock again, and have you seen things which might be in this video? So even if you have seen things which might be in this video, I would just like to state this is another opinion for you to base things on. So if you're going to comment that in the description, the reason for this is basically for me to inform you as to another angle of why you should potentially buy NIO Stock, and hopefully inform you as to something which you may not have known before. Anyway, I do think you're going to find this video useful regardless, so if you could just take a second to please leave a like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000, we're obviously almost halfway there now, so if you could just subscribe and share this with your friends and family, massively appreciated. Right, so another thing is I am not a financial advisor, and the third and final thing is if you could just check out in the description a link for Discord where we're going to be talking about stocks. If you want to get in contact with me and talk to me about stocks, there will be a link to that in Discord as well. Right, so let's have a quick look at NIO Stock over the past week and look at why now might be a potentially, great time to get into the stock. 5 day we are really quite flat on the stock. 1 day slightly bearish, started off around $22-ish. I think we're looking at a price of around $21.87. Now we've dipped all the way to $21.34, only a few pennies here and there, but it is still a loss nevertheless. So over the week we have actually made quite the gain. Started off on $20.99, so let's just call it $21. We made it all the way up to this high here of $22.50 almost, and then we basically leveled out from a low point then of around, let's call it $21.32. Then we climbed all the way back up to around, let's call it, well, it is $21.87. Since then basically we've taken a downhill and spiked all the way down to a price of $21.34. As you can see on the graph, that's only a few pennies before where we started off on the 1 month. However, when we look out to on the 5 day, when we look out to 1 month, you can see in perspective how much of a growth stock this has been over the past month, seeing lows on the month of $17.85 and highs on the month of around $21.85. So about $3 or $4 move so far, and of course we are down right now. We saw a big down here where a lot of people sold off, and then people basically immediately jumped back in and bought the stock up. So you could be asking yourself, is now a perfect time to buy this small dip in the stock? So when we go out to the 6 month, you can see really how much growth we have, acquired from this stock. So if we have a look over the long term, it really has started to grow and grow and grow quite stably as the company has been making more money, and we intend to see this rise even more in just in the future months and years. Okay, so first things first, let's have a quick look at the NIO Sales reports of August 2020. Now, this is one of the more recent ones, and I think that this growth is continuing to happen. So NIO actually set their record of almost 4,000 in August of 2020, and of course this is a good thing for the company as they are selling more cars, and of course more cars, more market share, and more money the company can make. So as we all know, that's a good thing if the company can continue to do this, and I believe that they are going to continue to expand the company into future weeks, months and years. So of course we're going to make a completely separate video on analysing the stock based on price forecast by analysts. So if you want to just subscribe, you'll be seeing that in a later video which will be hopefully out tomorrow. But tonight we are just going to have a quick look at the forecast from actual analysts, and of course now this has kind of changed. Before we were seeing kind of more of a bearish pattern from the low side and a really bullish pattern from the high. So we've seen a plus 500% estimate, I believe it was, on the upside, and like a minus 40% or even plus 40%, I can't remember, on the downside. So we're seeing not too much growth on the downside and quite a lot of growth on the upside. However, and very interesting to note that it is, the stock price has basically been readjusted, and analysts have relooked at the stock and revalued it and what it's going to do in the future. So on the high side, we're looking at 731, sorry. On the low, we're looking at 44.12, and in the middle, we are looking at 469. Let's read out what this officially says. Of the 16 analysts offering a 12-month price forecast for NIO Inc., they have a median estimate of $121.32, a high of $177.08, and a low of $44.12. So the median represents a 469% increase from the last price of $21.30. Wow, what does that mean? It means that we're going to see big gains on this stock potentially, and all analysts which are looking at the stock on money.cnn.com, which is also CNN Business, are all saying that they are seeing the stock going bullish. So of course this is not guaranteed to happen, I just need to state that, and of course I am no financial advisor, and even stock analysts do get things wrong sometimes, but what this does mean, if they are correct, it means that the stock could potentially go up twice its current value in the next year, and that would really be amazing to see. And of course there are real reasons behind that. Like I said, we're going to do a completely different video on looking at why the analysts are saying this, but that's coming out on another day. So I hope you enjoyed this short one, just looking at NIO Stock Forecast, and of course, earnings forecast. And of course, earnings forecast, we are looking at seeing higher earnings forecasts this period, and if that does happen, that could also force up the price of the stock even more, and that is what we are potentially looking at seeing. And that is why now might be a great time to get in on the stock. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments and on the Discord. I'll see you over there. Goodbye.